The Amazon is the world's largest rainforest. However, today, the ecosystem of the Amazon rainforest faces many threats, including deforestation, pollution, and drought. As a result, this area has seen a drastic loss in biodiversity as animals now struggle to find enough food and shelter to sustain themselves. It's now estimated that around 16% of animal species are at risk of extinction in Brazil alone due to these pressures. The Brazilian government has designated over 391,000 square kilometers of the rainforest as a forest reserve in Brazil. However, this is only about 2% of the original forest area, which is far from sufficient to sustain the plants and animals of the Amazon. There are many reasons for the reducing biodiversity in the Amazon rainforest, and some of them are deforestation and wildfires. In the next section of this presentation, I will discuss the reasons in more detail. Multiple studies have found that deforestation over time correlates with species loss and biodiversity reduction. For decades, Amazon forests have been heavily logged and burned and are populated primarily by tree species with smaller seeds and smaller fruits. These types of fruits provide an advantage to smaller animals who prefer smaller fruits and seeds, while negatively affecting larger species such as primates who consume large fruits and seeds. The origin of the loss of biodiversity in the Amazon rainforest can be traced back to the 16th century. In the 16th century, the Europeans started to explore the rainforest for its natural resources. In 1937, rubber was found in the Amazon, causing many people to move into the forest and exploit its resources. This resulted in large-scale deforestation. The loss space has increased due to modern tools being used. These tools have created an impact that will last for years to come. It is estimated that the Amazon loses between 4,000 to 6,000 Amazonian species every year, which is incredibly alarming. However, many other factors contribute to this loss of biodiversity besides deforestation. Other factors are climate change and farming. So, let's move on to the possible solutions to this problem. As of now, the Brazilian government has done very little to try and protect the forest. So, what can we actually do to combat this problem? Some people believe that the best solution is to command and control the people by enforcing very strict laws. They believe that the government should create laws that makes deforestation and interfering with Amazonian wildlife a criminal law that is worthy of a jail sentence. Although there might be some successes in this approach, I think these laws would contribute very little to effectively protecting the rainforest. This approach has its advantages and disadvantages. The main advantage is that if anyone gets caught breaking the law, they can be used as examples to others, and that might hopefully discourage people from illegally cutting down trees or illegally hunting animals. Its disadvantages are that this approach does not account for the economic impact that this will have. The Amazon alone contributes about $9 billion yearly to the Brazilian economy. I believe that the best thing we can do to stop this problem is to use incentive-based regulations. The main idea using incentive-based regulation is to get landowners to participate in conservation by providing them financial incentives for conserving an area of forest. This way, they are more likely to do so because they are rewarded financially for protecting the rainforest. This is an effective approach because landowners are becoming more aware that it is necessary to practice sustainable land management practices. For example, in 2008, the Brazilian government implemented the Forest Code. The Forest Code changed the way the government administers agricultural activities in Brazil. Instead of using command and control, they now use an incentive-based approach. Under this new system, landowners could keep their land as long as they converted at least 20% into protected areas. An advantage of this approach is that it gives landowners the flexibility to choose how to meet their requirements. Another advantage is that it does not force them to participate in conservation activities because they are given the option of becoming more efficient. If they do not conserve at least 20%, their land will be confiscated by the government and sold to somebody else. One disadvantage of this approach is that it does not consider the fact that people will probably make more money selling and cutting down trees than they would from the government incentives. In conclusion, there are many different approaches to stopping the loss of biodiversity in the Amazon. But more research needs to be done to figure out the best option.